to it. Tonight we're talking to an author I have never met before, and I'm very curious to learn more about, Francesca Zappia, who happens to live here in Indiana. Francesca, total stranger, how are you?
Total strangers. I am doing great. I am doing just fine.
And
How
since
are
I have
you?
absolutely no idea who you are, I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking. Please tell esteemed audience a little bit about yourself and, yeah, who you are.
Okay, so my name's Francesca Zappia. I go by Chessie usually. I live here in Indiana. I've lived here my entire life. I started writing when I was 8. Started trying to get published when I was 15. And my first book came out uh, literally the month I graduated from college, and it's called Made You Up. My second book is called Eliza and Her Monsters, and my third book is called Now Entering Adamsville, and it comes out, or is out, now.
Through the magic of time travel.
Through the magic of time travel, it's already available. And my first 2 books, Made You Up, is about a girl who has paranoid schizophrenia and is kind of trying to navigate her senior year of high school. Eliza and Her Monsters is about a girl who has anxiety, and she draws a super popular webcomic, but she draws it anonymously, so nobody knows who she is. And she wants to be recognized for what she's made, but she also is kind of, terrified and has extreme social anxiety about what would happen if people know who she is. And then the third book, Now Entering Adamsville, is a little bit different from both of those because it is kind of a paranormal, horror, mystery, fun Scooby-Doo romp with ghosts in a small Indiana town known for its ghost tourism, and a main character who is missing 2 fingers and carries around an axe and goes hunting demons. So that is me.
I love it. I really, really enjoyed that book. I've enjoyed all of your books, but that was my jam. It's like Now Entering Adams. Yes,
Yeah.
horror in Indiana. I went back and forth on whether or not I should compare it a little bit to Scooby Doo because I don't want to say it's a cartoon. It's not, but yeah, it's a little bit Scooby Doo.
I mean, it's a little cartoony. I feel like that's the thing about my books is that like they're never gonna be full on like super hardcore, because there's always a little bit of a cartoon in them. And so it is a little cartoony, but there's some serious parts, and there's serious parts, there's funny parts. You get the whole range. I like to think that in my books you get the whole range of emotions and feelings about them, but there are definitely the cartoony parts for sure. And I do call them the Scooby Gang at one point in the book, I think. So,
Should have been a clear sign that it's okay.
Yeah. Fine.
It's such a fun read, and it was interesting to me because I think of you as the Made You Up girl, woman, person.
Yes.
But the Made You Up person who I have met multiple times now, and Made You Up was not a completely serious book, but a fairly serious book.
Yeah.
Very literary, but not in a bad way. Like, it was a very fun book. I remember laughing multiple times while I read it. But I thought, okay, as I do, even though I hate it when people do it to me, I put you in my little Francesca Zappia box and said, well, that's the kind of book that Francesca Zappia writes. But no,
Yeah.
Now Entering Adamsville is. I don't want to say it's completely different because you can still see that Chessie DNA in there, but it's its own separate thing where it feels like you're having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was when I started writing that book, when I was conceptualizing it, so much of it was like, well, what's going to be fun? What do I like? I like ghosts. I like, that idea of somebody who's hunting things down. I like the reluctant heroine. I like, I like angry girls who are like still trying to do the right thing, but are just a little annoyed with everybody. there are just so many things in there that I really, really like and just enjoyed writing about. And because of the paranormal aspects and the supernatural part of it, I got to be a little silly too. And I got to put in, like demons that set things on fire but aren't necessarily evil, and ghosts, and like all kinds of mysteries. I was about to say a spoiler. Oops. But I caught myself.
It's your book. If you spoil it, that's fine. If I spoil it, that's terrible.
Then you're in trouble. If I spoil it, that's on me.
That's your prerogative.
Yeah, right. I'd be so mad with myself if I spoiled that. Although I'm sure, like, it's really funny because the one real like spoiler in that book, I feel like is going to be things that people from Indiana are like, they're just going to be confused about it the whole book. They're going to be like, what is this? And then at the end, they'll be like, oh, okay. And then people who aren't from Indiana are not even going to realize that it's a thing or that it's a problem. At least a lot of them won't. But,
No, we Hoosiers are our own special, unique brand. We have secrets that the rest of the world can't know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like what our state looks like.
That's true.
This is not going to make sense to anybody who hasn't read this book. So go read the book. Yeah.
One of my favorite gags in the Book of David is a constant repeat of Jack and Diane. It's playing on almost every radio they walk by. It's like, that's an Indiana joke. If you haven't been listening to Indiana radio stations, you don't know, but we really, really like that song.